don't have disenchantment, today we all call for dialogue, we call for negotiation, because we now know what it means to bring war. And definitely when we bring war, of course, you know my sons, Eddie and Sean are going to go to move for now. Because today, our working kind of capacity, we can leave and go down the period of fears. The way to exercise disenchantment is to go to the ballot box and vote people who know what to get at you. They will listen to you, they will have respect for you.
Okay, that's true. You like people who have respect for you. That's Sagoli, and in one of our interaction a few weeks ago. This is it, the True Breakfast Show. We are about to start our first interaction, and we are pleased to have with us a former government official. As you already know, we have a project here. Once in a while, we go back into our files, talk about somebody who acted, who participated in active activities at the time. And today we are pleased to have with us former Senator Roland Kaine. He comes with a very big story too, and he was active on the floor. He's a Mactassian. Whenever he talks on the Liberian Senate, the floor of the Liberian Senate is always entertaining, and we call him to take a relook and of course look at issues at this morning. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning and a pleasure.
So should I say former honorable?
Well, it doesn't matter. Maybe what you need to do is just to reserve some of the energy you have.
And the former senator, the former senator still looks good.
Well,
yeah. He's still in the legislature.
You know,
let's get going.
let me just give a retrospective look of some of the reasons why I still try to maintain myself. Once you are an actor and in the public domain, always remember there will come a time for others to take the stage.
Okay.
And so when such situation arises, adjust yourself where you find yourself.
Okay.
And so I think that it may not be very well what I want, but I find myself where I am.
Comfortable.
So I make myself comfortable. And that's why
so
I'm
where
always...
have you been hiding? For a long time we've not heard you.
Well,
and I found you somewhere to play. I went there and said I gotta bring them out this way.
That's why I make you an investigative journalist. But actually, I've been in the county. We've been involved with other activities, maybe farming and the local discussions. You know, sometimes the job gets you move distance from your own surrounding. As a child growing up, you come up in an environment. Sometimes when you're reaching at these points in life, not much of the activities are felt to where you came up. So sometimes when you have to sit and take a reflection of where you come from, you go there and sit again and say, oh, okay, maybe try to correct some of the mistakes, because again, in life, in order to accelerate well, reflection is very necessary and important. And so at the cool-off period, people would think you're hiding, but you are trying to recap and replanning and all of that.
Do you anyway miss the flair, the glamour that comes with officialdom, opening the car door, the gas coupon?
But think about it.
Yes, I chief, you know.
but one thing I still enjoyed everywhere I went, and people say, hey, chief, just what Solo said.
Yeah, the chief minister.
Chief. But again, you cannot compare job and no job. The official thing is there, but it's also something that you are sure of a regular income every month, and it comes, and you are obligated to go in somewhere because you've been paid for doing certain things. Outside that, you determine and decide your own plan of action for the day. So there are a lot more to be mixed. The second thing is that holding or occupying the positions, you find yourself at certain level. Like because I was senator and I managed to go to the ECOWAS Parliament, and to get to the ECOWAS Parliament for what the protocol says now, you have to be a member of your own parliament. So the job took me to ECOWAS Parliament. At some point in time, I also saw myself representing the parliament to places, having delegations, being member of delegations, being consulted by the speakers and other top officials of the parliament. The job took me to where
you were a regional man.
Oh yeah, I was a regional man, and I think I'll be honest with you, my performance was very great. I have a couple of friends there.
No, we will say that. Oh, look, yeah, let's face it, but do you miss it in a way? Is that something that you wish to go back to?
Well, you see, the legislature, being a legislator, it is a unique kind of interaction. Sometimes, good, and some you got more challenges there, but it's good because if you know how to make your way through, some of the issues will be very critical, and you will see the pro tem or the government liaison or who's in charge to ensure what they want done, and they will begin to scout out few senators, and they will feel that these are local people, they are people that are influential, whatever you term it or call it, and then sometimes when you go say, well, I didn't know that I'm this important. So you see what I'm talking about? You have a group of people at the same level, but even at that point, you are still selected amongst your colleagues at the level because they feel you got certain charisma in you and that can be utilized, and put at the disposal of having certain results. Okay. So it becomes very important, and those activities you miss. The next thing is that the joke sometimes, serious matter coming, and your friend can say, look, Mama, sit down, man. And, so like equals among equals and all the kind of funds, it's quite something that you miss.
But there is a culture of people coming to your house every day, asking you, Senator, my school fee, my this, my that, placing the burden on you. Do you still experience such a flowing in of a request for assistance?
For me,
or you have
for me, it's even more. What the community
after you left the Senate?
Yes, what the community does is they watch your lifestyle. If this is how I think about it, others may have their own perception or others may have their own thinking about the issue. If they feel that this guy is still maintaining himself, they will come around. Yes, we got a couple of students still to pay their school fees. And again, one key important thing as a politician you have to maintain is CAM, we call it CAM. After you've left active service, there are a group of people that you feel are loyal to you, still serve you, submit to you.
You're thinking
well, that's one aspect that will come to it. Okay. And so you have to maintain this group in our family. And so it's a lot of burden, a lot of responsibility. It's very expensive, but again, that's why you have to work. That's why you always have to be innovative and think it may not be the level at which you want, but at an appreciable level, where someone will think, yes, at least the chief is now working, but at least he can be able to respond to us. And you always sing as a beacon of hope for them that one day when the rising time to be
these are some of the problems I have with politicians. When you were there, you should have empowered them to stand by themselves. But you still maintaining that. At that time, you should have encouraged some of them go to school, learn trade, be self-sufficient. Then
that's
you have not had the burden.
That's true, but we didn't fall short of that. We did. Going to school is a process. It's not just an event. So if you have this guy, if you have this guy who came to you and you saw him to be someone who needs help, you start to send to school. He started from 7th grade. By the time you spend his school fee for 3 years, he's in 9th grade. If you reach 10th grade, you're out of the job. You can't stop. So that's empowerment. Also, you recommended some for job as a senator. You don't have the employment authority except for people directly working with you. Not for many persons. It's restricted, it's limited. And those that you could absorb as your personal staff, you did. Others did not reach that qualification because even if you send someone somewhere, you say, look, chief, I can do anything. Now I'm recommending to you. I say, look, Mohammed, yes, take my friend. So, okay, no, sure, send him, Roland. And so when I say to you, so look, Mohammed, what your qualification? So I just have to graduate. So, wow, but what is it? So these are challenges along the way. But we continue to manage what we can manage. Even for those who will say, well, we have empowered, still got challenges. Because it's just normal. You can't have everybody employed. You don't have the capacity, you don't have the capability. Even if you wish to do it, if your desire calls for it, you don't have the means to do it for everyone. Even the government itself. I remember a couple of months back or a year, you saw people running in the street and say, hey, this is the president we want. The very people come and cry and say, we don't have a job. Of course, the government, once you win, you got obligations of others do now. Not only people who took the flyers in the street. So these are challenges that people face with.
Okay, whenever we mention your name, many of our Facebook posters have also mentioned that. We think about the situation where some young people got killed in your district. You went to prison, you left prison, you went to the court. Does that constitute one of your most disturbing periods as a lawmaker?
You see, and let me be very clear on this matter. I regret the situation very well. Very, 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 very much. I regret it because people lost their lives. Some of the young people who died didn't have to die. But let's be very clear that it's an issue that I got no involvement into it. Moment. Look, let me be honest to you. Where the thing took place, I have never been there. I don't know there. How many of you in Monrovia will believe it? The second thing here is, even people who've been there, where the thing took place, there were no network. Even, Selcom, Lone Star, no network. Even right now, as technology in Liberia has improved to, meaning that when you could not receive a phone call, you can receive a phone call now. Still, there's no phone call there. How would somebody...
And the phone call was the issue.
And they said the phone call was the issue. Even right now, the issue is over. Go and do an investigation there. If you get a phone call now as we speak, and you know all of these cell phone companies have improved their plans, have improved their technology. Right now, if you get a network there, then I'm guilty. Let me be re-arrested and prosecuted. The third thing here is, I never got arrested. I was a senator, I never got arrested. When I heard the news on the radio, I drove to the Ministry of Justice with some of my colleagues. When the Senate said they have to debate and discuss the issue, I said, I'm not going to discuss it because I've heard of...
the program asked you to go.
I heard, no, this is the situation I'm talking about, and I can even name the senators I want with me. I said, I'm not going to go on the floor to discuss this matter. I'm going to go because people lost their life and I'm innocent. I drove to the Ministry of Justice. We waited, the Minister of Justice was not there. I called him on my phone. He's now Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. He came and I said, I'm going to report myself to the police station. I called journalists and I'm reporting myself. I reported myself. If I had any involvement, I would have resisted arrest. Even if there after arrest come, but I would have said, I'm not going anywhere. But I went there. The third thing, fourth thing I want you to understand, there were a couple of people involved in this process. I'm being out of jail for many months, for many years. Why sometimes?
You spend in jail?
I spent 9 to 10 months in jail. Okay, I'm out. You journalists, people were also involved. Why would they not get annoyed and begin to speak even the jail was against me if I was involved? But maybe I followed an advice that was wrong. And I think I need to now have a rethink. And the advice is that I would have probably taken the government to court, at the ECOWAS court, because I'm a member of ECOWAS parliament. And because I chose not to even make an issue out of it because people died, people continue to bring back this thing here. When I went to jail to face prosecution, I was not a member of the ruling party. Then what guarantee, what was the protection that I had to say the decision rendered was in my favor? So those are all things that I saw and said, look, because people die, I regret the situation. Let me go
and senator, you have huge influence. How could
I have exhibited such influence when I was in jail? Who did I have Oxan pleading? Of course, no.
You were still being paid.
But it's not the issue. When I was paid, go and check the bank. I was not allowed to withdraw any money from my account. So where did I have the money to fight? Everything that was done as a speaker.
So what was your bigger regret in all that?
My bigger regret was people died in the process, and they didn't have to die. And the second thing here is that I don't know how much clarification do I have to give on this matter. Even as I speak now, where the thing took place, I've never been there. I don't know the place. The thing took place about 7 years ago now. There was no network there. Today, as we speak, there's still no network there. Do your investigation. There were a team of journalists went there at the time. They reported that there was no network. As we speak now, 7 years after, there's still no network. So what can I say?
What do you think went wrong?
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I didn't want to say this, but I'm constrained to say it.
It's a history that we're trying to tell the past.
Yes. During the superintendent elections, Benny brought, Benny and I, Charles Benny and I we had this unfriendly.
We
had this unfriendly kind of relationship. And so after the elections I won, I came second. That's why I took the senator of the second category position. And they sent, he got a far protest against me. He had about 2,000-3,000 votes. I have little over 18,000 votes. So the election commission said, but how can you say the men stole the vote when you just have 3,000 to 4,000? We made confusion there. So after some months, the president wanted recommendation as to who becomes superintendent of the county. Fortunately, I was the chairman of the caucus. Then Benny came to me recommending a name to me. I said, look, the process is transparent. I have constituted a committee that will go through the process and submit report to me for onward transmission to the president. I'm not going to influence anything. And he left, he wanted to disrespect me. So when he took the platform to sit, I asked Omil, because by then Omil was assigned to take him out of the platform. He went outside. He made a remark. He didn't say in the corner. He said, in the past 100 years I will get at you. That one aspect. So he took to use the situation to destroy me because I still had the potential. The second thing was that when we went through the, okay, we've just explained the election thing. The second thing was that people felt that with the gains, political gains I had in the county, I needed to be undermined. You understand what I'm saying? They needed to do something to bring me down. And that's why I tried to avoid it. When the situation came, I did not even wait for the rest. I moved there. There's a guy in Kakata called Dasi. When you pass the police station, he had a house between the road from St. Augustine getting the quota and the quota. Dasi told me in the clear turn that it was in his car that Benny decided to get me involved. The last thing to that, you know, the former Justice Minister, now Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, Councillor Ben, he took over with this Charles Julu case. So he lost the case. When he lost the case with Charles Julu, it was a slap in his face because he was being considered as one of the highly profile placed lawyers in this country. So my situation, he took it to make a political gain.
Sure,
and he's, of course, look at the records in the court.
I think he was just doing his work.
He was not doing his work.
As a senior prosecutor.
No. There are issues that you can look at. They are very
we have
clear.
to prove that.
You understand? No, but I'm talking about
the intent of prosecution is not to win case, you know.
No, but listen to me.
Because if you start thinking that prosecutors prosecute because they want to win,
I'm not saying that he prosecuted me because he because
he lost the charge in your case, so he wanted to use your case as a.
I can tell you one of the persons. I mean, as an individual, one of the persons that I respect so much is Minister Christiana. There are a couple of cases. She failed to pick them up because she knows government doesn't have evidence to put the case.
But you had a then Solicitor General,
No, listen, we are on the media. But let me tell you what happened also. And it's very good that I will speak on the issues. The situation I went through was a situation that Teron miserably failed and did it to get at me. I will tell you one.
He was a lawyer.
the Justice Minister and the Solicitor General.
Solicitor General was the most.
Solicitor General.
And let me use this word. Let me use this
Teron
word.
was the SG.
Yeah, Teron was the SG. Let me use this word. And call Teron here, and I will challenge you. And that's why I want to. And I want you to even record this portion because I want to be on tape for that.
It's on video and tape.
Right. Teron was a wicked man to make in the case. Let me tell you why he was a
very strong word.
I said wicked man. Let me tell you why. Sam Sanyon is not. Yeah, listen. Because what he did to me shouldn't have been done to any young man in this country in its world. For someone like Teron who has proven to be an advocate, how you call it, social justice kind of related persons. Let me give you the proof for it. Sam Sanyon is now operating the Savannah Printing Incorporated. He uses Zebra 1 on his car.
Yeah,
he was 106 who investigated me. In this very radio station, in this very studio, Sam Sanyon came and said they won't force you to charge me. I'm leaving Sam Sanyon. All of you know Sam Sanyon.
Yeah, he said.
All of you, he said they won't force you to charge me. To tell you that what was done on the
So you heard that?
Yes.
He said it on the program Lunchtime Live.
He investigated me. He said he never found me guilty, but Gomlo to him charged that man.
Why did Gomlo took that portion?
Because Gomlo felt that I had some association with the Taylor's government and he was maltreated. So he took me now to pay debt on me. That's why I said he was wicked in my issue. And I will now challenge you to call Teron here and call Sam Sanyon here and let me say that let Teron prove himself. That when he passed in masquerading as a good lawyer, as a nationalist, I say he's a wicked man. I'm telling you, this is the only person I keep grossing my mind in this country for. Teron, for what he did. No, but I'm telling you, he can come and submit.
You've linked two persons here, the then Justice Minister and the Solicitor General.
Yeah, because I feel as lawyers, there's no way that a case which has to be prosecuted by government, you understand now, go through trial without the approval of the Justice Minister. Now,
the Justice Minister did not approve?
No, that's what I'm saying. He approved because he asked me why I'm accused of racism. The police who investigated the case, Sanyon, then 106, said I did not have any link with the issue. And Gomlo asked him to charge me. I want to believe that the Minister of Justice was in the know of it, because he's the Minister of Justice. That's what I link in. But the mean doer who had to go through what today, I still got time. I still have to use energy to clarify about my involvement continues to grow. You see how
can we quantify the loss, the consequence of your being in jail?
But
what's the damage it brought to you?
But the thing about it, and let's be very clear on that, the only thing one's pray to have is your character. It's your character. And this is a character. And so it takes billions of dollars to repair. It takes billions of dollars. Because if you don't have good character, nobody will want to give you a job. Yeah. Nobody will want to make you his friend.
Good name is better than money.
Good name is better than money. That's what I'm saying. Because once you got good name, you know in this country, I'm one of the finest lawmakers ever placed in this place. And even my performance, let me tell you something. This is even an evidence. One of the programs that I serve as an organizing secretary, they call it Africa at 50, the Global Point. You brought together sitting presidents of the world, prime ministers, former leaders, and I was
because you were on the ECOWAS commission.
But but not everybody was on the ECOWAS took leadership. It is my role that I play in plenary, and I'm telling you something. Ask my colleagues that won't tell me. Senator Prince Johnson was there. Honorable North Peter asked him. Ask Jefferson. When I took the floor at the ECOWAS Parliament, I was one of the leading floor fighters at the ECOWAS Parliament. That's why I'm saying it. But just to narrow what I'm saying, one of the things that I have to start thinking to do, and I think that will help to even clarify this thing more. I'm now going to find lawyers that will volunteer their service or services to me to see if they can now pick up this case at the ECOWAS court. Because I thought to leave the government and felt that there were people responsible who made this blunder and resorted on disturbing and damaging my character, but every time it comes up. So we will now be looking at that to see the possibility.
The possibility.
But then you also
not found guilty.
Yeah, but then you also have to be telling callers that will call and say the man killed, because you see they continue to say here, Roland. Our minds, our reflect on.
Realistically, it was not the prime object of me calling you this morning. It wasn't talking about your experience.
No, but it's also important.
Because it was brought up by our Facebook or so, we just thought to bring it
so
in.
You can also
occupy,
right.
But the fact that you have the opportunity to explain what happened.
But importantly, journalism, one of the cardinal attributes of journalists is to do investigation of their story. Right in the studio.
So the fact that
no, not just that. Right in your studio here, you just heard one of your police, Solomon Ware, admitting that the guy who did the investigation as the chief of police, one was a Sam Sion, is down in Monrovia, the corner of Benson and how you call it, Boulevard, where he has his office now, came and said at one of your sister programs that Gogo asked him to falsely charge me. So you should be telling the people that. And you now can challenge that.
Why should we?
You are so we have the opportunity. And it's so good that my colleague has confirmed.
Interestingly, you know what? Sulu seems like a hell of a man. Let's put a little bit of to it. I wanted to take the issue, so I kept me and said I wanted to record it. He said, no, we didn't do the recording.
He didn't
refuse, but he said they didn't have the recording of it.
Okay, so, thank you very much. So, Jack, give your perspective. How are things in your mind? How's the country going? Are you happy, man? What would you have done, and other than what is being done now, if you had?
It's a big question. It's the $1 million question.
Yeah. But just summarize it.
Every government has a challenge. Right now, you move everywhere. Everybody's crying and say there are difficulties, there are hardship. Government is making some progress. People seem not to even see it. The reason is that any government, the reason and primary purpose for electing someone to help the country is to create an opportunity, is to create an environment where everybody can have a job and take something home, where everybody can be good, have good salary and send their kids to school. So once the citizens did not see that, they will cry. Not that the government is not working, but because these things are not happening in their lives, and you cannot say it's okay. For an example, maybe if I didn't have transportation to come here, and you told me to come, I would not come. Then I will put the blame on government. So there are challenges, but what the government needs to do is to put into action some of these laws, policies, and programs in work, because most of the time the policies are very good, but the implementation aspect where the beneficiaries, which are the Liberian citizens, can directly get the results not happening because of technicians and other people put in place. Some are doing very well. So I think government needs to do more so that smile can come there. And let me tell you one other
And
challenge.
that statement, government needs to do more. You think that statement will come? Do we have a time in our history where that statement will not be necessary?
No, but I'm also
Because there will
saying,
always be
It's become a
need to
cliche.
do more. You know, no matter how long it takes, will not be contended with.
you know, one thing I like to say, one big challenge. Anybody who gets elected in a higher position should not pray for is to get overwhelming support of everyone. Once you get overwhelming support, then the expectations and anxiety of voters become high. They feel that overnight things will just happen. And sometimes people who are even associated with the leadership cause the problem also.
Okay.
If I have been your friend and you in leadership, my utterance, my behavior, my attitude will make people hate you. So even people that are perceived close to government, the way they talk sometimes in the community, I mean, to be honest with you, they have to be very careful how they coins or tailor their words and same thing.
Okay.
But there are always challenges.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for having breakfast with us. We're going to
Just
take
before
you.
we can go, let me ask, do you have intention of contesting again, Margibi?
Well, you
That
see,
question, even you bring that question, somebody in the colors. One of the colors were brought out. That one.
so you know the issue is, we told people the politics for me is like a medical theater. Medical theater is where medical doctors go and perform. We had our own time there, and maybe at that time, maybe at that time, maybe there were more surgical cases in Margibi, so they needed a surgeon. And so when that issue came to rest, and a lot of people started complaining of their teeth or so, they needed dentists. So the issue of contesting is not just somebody who just say I am or so. But we have not made a determination.
Okay.
But that does not mean that
Man,
we cannot consider decisions.
You never did politics. That one clear. That's your passion. However, I get some calls. I will take 5 calls. Solo will do the same. Please use a minute to convey your thoughts. 0777 46979 So let me take this.
0777 469793.
Good morning. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Okay, good morning, Mama. Good morning, Solan. Good morning to the chief. I'm Coach Derek Coty.
Is any chief? You are also a former chief.
Good morning, David.
I gotta call him chief. That's what he can enjoy now. Yeah, I gotta call you chief. Okay, I just called and said thank you. It's good to hear your voice again. Honorable Kaine was my colleague during the 51st, and I know him to be a very strong guy on the floor. I mean, he's a strong politician. And I just want to talk about this issue of Margibi. I'm going to clarify 1 or 2 things there today. You know, people got to be very careful of people's character.
It's true.
I followed the entire story myself, and people are still having a notion or belief that Kaine killed people. Please do your investigation carefully as journalists before you talk or as citizens. So just keep hearing. Maybe this is why I'm not saying he's suffering. I don't know what he does for a living now. But someone like this with this kind of experience should be in government today. Helping us, not so much of money, but to be helping the government. But because of this feeling, this thinking, he's a murderer, he's this, that. Maybe it might be a problem for you when you go somewhere for a job or something. People will just remember that this man is this and that. So I just want people to be a little bit careful with people's characters. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cote. 0777 4697994. We're talking to former Senator Roland Kaine. And 0777 4697994 is the number to call. I'm mistakenly put my phone off, so
Yeah,
get it
okay.
back on.
Let me take this.
Thank you, David.
Good morning. Good morning. Your name? Nathaniel Phillips. Go.
Morning, Dad. How are you?
I'm not downstairs and I can imagine what you do that us me or every day challenge. So I know how that people eat and how that people think. I know how much we swallow views. But unfortunately, they seem to have this part to play. Nobody is able to spread the message. You know what happened? It is not carrying the media carrying that protocol where it's okay and blah blah blah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Nat.
Thank you very much, Nat.
Good morning. Good morning. You're live. Your name and where you call from? Go ahead. Okay. Thank you.
What is his question?
Why the people didn't do anything yet but to kill the people?
But-
So you want you to give the reason why they killed the people?
But I cannot give it. But let me just.
Let me
Yeah,
just
well,
go
they need
through
to be
with
found
you.
out.
Good morning. Good morning. I don't know. 07746.
Okay, so I think we'll leave it there and let Getty respond to the comments made by
The people killed those that went to work. The first thing here, if you follow the entire case, you were told that Senator Kaine was never around. I have not even gone to my farm. Know that. The second thing here, this is Senator Kaine was involved because of telephone call. What am I saying, Pastor? This thing happened about 7-8 years ago. Go there now. At that time, journalists went and reported that there was no network. Right now, 7 years ago, there have been vast improvement in technology. All these cell phone companies have widened their coverage and all of that. Go there now, there's still no network there, those who go around the places. The third thing is that, Pastor, I cannot say anything. I got no involvement. Even the explanation of killing is when you are present and physically participate. It's in the law. I was not there. How can you even say as pastor? Because you never. I agree. People lost their life. But that's why when I'm working at war, because I depend on God, it's good that you pastor. There were a lot of revelation that thing happened to me while I was even in jail. I got no involvement in this matter, to be honest with you. And I also just told you about Taiwan interaction, and Sam Sion was 106. That's why I gave this information that you can follow it. He was 106 in the police that investigated the issue. He came on radio. One more clarification you want journalists to make. He did investigate. He said it. Go tell him.
You have spoken, Lizzie, enough on that one. I hope they will understand. And of course, we'll find time to talk about this more. So we'll get in touch with Sam and we'll try to get Steel's gumdos and respond to the comments you have made. Thank you very much for coming. You have anything finally you want to ask? We call this quit.
Well, the thing about it is that we just like to caution others that being in government and in other positions, that when you there try to establish some kind of relationship that even after your exit, you can still be accommodated, you can still be, saying as, you can still be saying as leaders in the community. Okay. And I'm telling you, wherever we went in Margibi, we got that respect and everything.
Thank you.
And so let's keep up, and I must also say it's not State of the Union address, so I'm not addressing the RCI.
Did you see that?
But yeah, we come into that. But interestingly, you really did well to take me from the corner and brought me tonight. And
I was happy when I said
and the discussion this morning has really helped, has inspired me. And so we'll be looking to more and more invitation. And so that, because again, we will also, next time we'll talk on issues. We will even talk on the bill that increased the registration for senators.
No
we'll talk about.
Politicians always want to talk, and they want the opportunity to talk on the biggest platform. His name is Roland Kaine. He served the people of Margibi County. Today he's a private citizen in his, thank you very much. Yeah, I see, Honorable Roland Kaine, co-rapporteur.
Right.
Well, that's how we're bringing the curtains of this presentation. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll bring the news and information from the world. Stay tuned.
Crime is including right, you are exempt from arrest. I will showing the copy of it until the and they wrote you before you can be arrested. I honor my.
But why didn't you apply that?
No, listen to me. Because if I didn't arrest me, because I thought that code is a fair thing. Look, listen to me. Listen, no, let me tell you. They call that.